become in future. Let's for a while think of the sun. The existence of the sun and the need for sunlight will never change. Technology may change, the world may change, but Swami's teachings are eternal, timeless, and boundless. However modern and tech-savvy children may be, yet what does every child look for or want? To be loved, to be heard, to be cared for, and to have a purpose. These needs haven't changed. That's exactly what Swami's teachings nurture these young hearts. Swami welcomed people of all religions and all nations. He taught us that there is nothing like Indian love, Chinese gratitude, African compassion, or Australian truth. Human values are the same across the globe, and these belong to humanity. Evidently, Sri Sathya Sai Bal Vikas today exists in 150 countries. Sri Sathya Sai Bal Vikas is a sacred thread that weaves together this global family in his love. Dear brothers and sisters, as we comprehend that Sri Sathya Sai Bal Vikas is the only panacea to make this place a better world to live in, let us rebind and reassure ourselves to take Bhagwan's mission of Sri Sathya Sai Bal Vikas together, further and further. This indeed would be our best offering of love and gratitude to our dear Bhagwan. O Lord, silently and selflessly our duties to perform, help us all ever through your mission to transform. Bestow thy grace, dear Swami, to please you and only you. 'Tis all we beg to surrender and reach you. Jai Sai Ram.
Our next speaker is Mrs. Vidyolata Narayan, who is a Bal Vikas and Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning alumnus. She brings extensive experience both in the field of education, professionally, and as a Bal Vikas Guru. Her father, Professor Narendra, served as the first principal of the Sri Sathya Sai College in Vrindavan, Whitefield. She has also served as the Vice President and National Bal Vikas Coordinator in the National Council of United Kingdom. Professionally, she is an educator and a manager of education services in the UK, supporting schools and settings to enable and ensure equitable access to learning for children and young people with additional needs and vulnerabilities. Her session is on Eternal Human Values, Modern Minds, Tailoring Bal Vikas for Today's Developing Child. Please welcome Mrs. Vidyolata Narayan.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My most humble, loving pranams at Bhagwan's divine lotus feet, respected elders, and my dear brothers and sisters from the Bal Vikas family. Swami, in a discourse given on October 22nd, 1966, said, there is a peculiar religion that is taking shape. That peculiar religion is called modernism. That has appeared and is now gaining influence among the people. New fashion is to discard the old just because it is old. And the new fashion is to adopt the new just because it is new. New takes delight in very light things, fleeting pleasures, trivial moments. But it discards that which is difficult to understand, that which is difficult to cultivate, such as attitudes or qualities. That new, my dear brothers and sisters, as you know, is what is plaguing us today. And that's the world our children are experiencing. The world of technology, of social media, of artificial intelligence, of instant access to information. That sort of bombardment of the senses has a very profound impact on how our children can think, can communicate, can behave, can learn. Anyway, I am not going to take you down this doom and gloom lane. I am going to take you back 50 years. I am going to take you back to a Bal Vikas class. I was privileged to be a Bal Vikas student in that class. My utmost gratitude to my first gurus, my grandmothers and my mother, who had the benefit of directly learning from Bhagwan. But I also had the greatest benefit of going to a class by one of my most favorite gurus, in fact, who's left an indelible impression on me, Uncle Tyagarajan. 50 years later, I still recall Uncle Tyagarajan, and I'd like to describe him to you. He's a very humble, small-made person, but I still recall a person which had the broadest smile on his face. So we as children, I lived in Bangalore. There was a small samiti at that time in Alsur. It was a little room in a little annex to a temple in a very busy market area of Alsur. But that was the samiti for Alsur. A very dimly lit little room. Trust me, no PowerPoints, no computers, no mobile phones. Possibly a blackboard with a chalk. Maybe. I can't remember. But what I do remember and recall is Uncle Tyagarajan standing at the door of the class and welcoming each one of us with our name and a Sai Ram. Yes, we learned bhajans, we learned prayers, heard the most wonderful stories from him. But what has left an indelible memory in me is his love that shone through for children. It was like feeling Bhagwan through him. That, my brothers and sisters, is the divine magic that you, us, can bring to life to the child that is in front of us. We are mere instruments, but what I learned from Uncle was we just need to reflect that glory through us to the child. What he taught, what my grandmothers and my mother taught, was that love for God. That was their primary duty, to inculcate love for Bhagwan, love for God. You know, as a Balvika student, I took every opportunity. I was one of those who was terribly enthusiastic and keen. I used to go to 3 classes a week, not 1. Only because I had my grandmother taking a class, then I had my mother who would go to the army cantonment. They would send this big truck to our house. We would hop on. So maybe that was the excitement for me as a child. But no, that wasn't all. We would go and teach in the army cantonment to the Jawans. My mother would teach and I would be part of that class. And I would also go to uncle's class. But why? What was it? It was not all the glamour and the glitz that we currently have, that we have to pander to our youngsters. Oh, they are from this generation. They can't do without an app. They can't do without screen time. We have to show something on a screen. So, yes, there are times and places when we should. But those were the days when it was just heart to heart. And that connection is what we all can develop and cultivate and nurture. So, Bhagwan has given us this roadmap, as said before by my esteemed speakers. He's given us very clear directions. All we need to do is to follow and implicitly adhere to his directions. If we veer away, that's when we get into trouble. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes. But Swami, knowing our minds, right? Again, on September 15th, 1963, he spoke in Mysore, where he said, we have to discover the balance between Sanatana and Nutana. Sanatana being the ancient, Nutana being the modern. And he very clearly said, Swami wants the Sanatana spirit to be cultivated in the heart. If the modern age needs or requires some change, this is very pertinent. If the modern age requires some change, change the non-essentials. Do not dilute the truth so much that it loses its genuineness. This he gave in 1963. And he also illustrated it with an example. He said, if some of us favors a drink which is of a red color or a blue color, he said, don't pour a red dye or a blue dye into that drink. Instead, the essence that is. Instead, pour that drink into a red glass or a blue glass. Change, adapt the implementation, but don't dilute the essence. Very important. So, it's really important that we understand the children that are sitting in our class, sitting in front of us, all eagerly looking up to us. What are we going to say? We are going to spout out the great truths. That's the responsibility that actually sits with us. So, we do need to understand how our children think, how they feel, so that we can tailor our class to meet those developmental needs. And I just want to touch a little bit on those stages of development. Of course, this generation known as the Gen Alpha, and of course parents are the Gen Z, I'm assuming, I'm well out of this, but yes, Gen Alpha. Apparently, research has described this generation as technologically immersed and materially endowed. Wow. But there's no mention of spiritually strong. Okay, that's where we come in. Every child is unique, as you know, and they progress through various stages of development, of their physical development, their mental development, their social development, their intellectual development, and of course, their spiritual development. And therefore, understanding these developmental needs will definitely help us to communicate Swami's teachings appropriately to suit their age, their ability, and of course to make it really meaningful. So, what are these stages? And I'll quickly take you through them. You will probably know this. So we've got children as young as 4. In some of our countries abroad, we have very eager parents, eager siblings who want to come along with their older children, older brothers and sisters. So in the United Kingdom, for example, we have a class for nursery children between the ages of 4 and 6. I know Swami hasn't given us that, prescribed it, but hopefully Swami will accept that they are a group that are very eager and want to be there in his presence. So we cater to that group. But essentially, the children in that age group from 4 onwards till about 9 are those children that are really wanting to learn, but also are very impressionable. They learn by observing you. They watch everything that they do. Like sister was saying, they copy whatever you do. You know, it reminds me of this anecdote that Dr. Jumsai had narrated. You might be familiar, where a teacher was teaching his class or her class, writing everything on the board, and he thought he had a very attentive class. It was a maths class or whatever, and a very attentive class, and the children had all paid attention, are very attentive. And so at the end of the class, you know, a plenary happens, you ask, so what have you learned today? Tell me. And of course, during that teaching, when he was writing something, he unconsciously or consciously had wanted to rub something off the board. So he took his duster and rubbed it, but the the duster had fallen on the floor. So what he did was, he, with his foot, flipped the duster, with his foot, caught it in his hand, rubbed what he wanted to, and left it. At the end, he asked, what have you learned today? And one child, very eager, put their hand up. Where it's going, right? Yes, so he thought, oh my God, I've got such a fantastic student here. Let me see what he has to show. He called him up eagerly, and yes, he did exactly that. He dropped the duster, picked it with his foot, and then rubbed what was on the board. So, that's what, you know, children observe, copy what we do. They are so impressionable, they're like sponges. They will just absorb. So we must watch what we do. This age group, young age group, or group 1, we have to watch our conduct. Very quickly, group 2, we must make sure that this age group has questions, they will have doubts. We need to take time to explain. They encourage discussions. That's the way we learn what they're thinking, what they're feeling. So if they ask questions, make the effort to answer those questions. And if you don't know, go back, learn, and answer. The older group, which is group 3 and upwards, here the guru becomes a guide and a mentor. This age group can show very challenging attitudes. They will have opinions. We must listen, be alert to what they have to say, because we can pick up things. And we must guide them to what is right and what is not right. We must also highlight at every opportunity discrimination and discipline. Children learn in very different ways, and Auntie yesterday, Roshini, explained that. But you know, Swami knew again, this was all coming, all this multi-intelligence learning, multimodal learning. And that's why he gave us very simply those 5 teaching techniques. It caters to all the styles of learning. So what is important also is just to keep in mind that we might have children who may have some additional needs. We just need to be loving, make sure we are welcoming them to the class, we are respecting them, then their parents, make them feel valued. And if they need any adjustments, if they need more time to understand something, let's give them that time. If there are needs that are beyond our capability to manage, if there's a behavioral need or a psychological need, it's important then we signpost or we advise them to seek support, maybe from professionals. But essentially, that same God dwells in that child. That child is a gift from God, and we must love every child as if they were our own. Often we hear, how can we make Swami's teachings relevant to this generation? Swami's teachings are eternal. That is the panacea for all ills, all problems. We have to just communicate those teachings in a suitable way to our children. And the answers will come. We make connections with Swami's teachings to resolve or address any issues our children might have. It's very important that we know the potentials, the strengths, and the barriers. I can see the time flag is being waved very, very firmly here. I will conclude with just 2 points. One is that in order to maintain the purity of Swami's message, dear brothers and sisters, we must adhere to Swami's discourses, his books, the publications, the syllabus that we have, that the Sri Satya Sai organization has created. We must ensure that any resources, any sources that we use, that we verify where it is from. Please do not just share it out without verification. That is an important responsibility for us. I will end now with a very quick anecdote. I hope just 1 minute extra. I have to share this. I know we all want to teach human values, but more important, it is the transformation of lives. Just before coming, we in UK held a pre-conference meeting with our gurus, and in one of the groups, one elderly uncle came and sat. He wasn't a guru, but he was a member of the Sai Samiti in the Sai Center. And he came and he was listening very ardently to all the discussions that were happening. And then he said, you know, I'd like to say one thing. I was recently at a wedding and I saw there were a group of children, youngsters, about 9, 10, 11, all milling around. You know, it was a social event, milling around. But there was this one child who was very humble, going around asking, can I get you water? Can I get you a drink? And in a way, bending. And he said, this child is unique. So he went up to the child and he said, child, are you a Bala Vikas student? Child looked up and said, yes, uncle, I am. Say no more. Sai Ram.
session for all of us and got us thinking. We have now come to that time of the day where we hear the collective experiences from our experienced Bal Vikas Gurus and also parents. The topic of discussion is the impact of the interconnected relationship between parent, guru, and child for the blossoming of excellence. Today, we have 5 panelists and 1 moderator. Our panelists are Dr. Sapna Sharma Bharadwaj, who is a professor and head of Department of Physiology at Dr. Rajendra Prasad Government Medical School, College, Kangra, Himachal Pradesh. She has been a devotee of Bhagavan since childhood. Currently, she serves as a Bal Vikas Guru and is actively involved in Sai Seva activities. Our second panelist is Sri T.S. Balachandran, an alumnus of the Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. He is currently serving as the trustee of the Sri Satya Sai Trust, Tamil Nadu, and participates in activities of Sri Satya Sai Siva organization. Professionally, he is the Senior Vice President, Human Resources in one of India's leading banks, blending his career with values of devotion and service. Our next panelist is Mrs. Saraswati Bhaskar, an alumnus and former lecturer in Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning in Anantapur. Currently, she is serving as Zone 3 Devotional Coordinator for Sri Satya Sai Global Council and is part of the Global Council Secretariat team. Our next panelist is Advocate Usha Sai Manoj, who is from Bahrain with extensive experience in Bal Vikas and is currently serving as the National Bal Vikas Coordinator. Our last panelist is Mr. Aditya Rachakonda, who is a Bal Vikas and Sri Satya Sai Global Council Young Adult Leadership Program for Self-Transformation alumnus and serves in various activities of the organization in Dubai. He currently serves as a Bal Vikas Guru and is a parent. Moderating the panel is our moderator, Sri Harinath Telangana. He is a Bal Vikas Guru for Group 3 and trains gurus for Group 3 and 2. Professionally, he has global experience which includes working in the USA in the field of engineering and has held senior management roles in the areas of embedded systems and mobile technology. Please welcome all your panelists and the moderator.
Om Sri Sai Ram, offering humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan. Sai Ram to all the elders, brothers and sisters on the panel, and all the esteemed gurus. The aim of Sri Satya Sai Bal Vikas is to guide the child into good ways of living, into simplicity, humility, and honesty, thus enabling the blossoming of excellence latent in every child. As we all know, Bal Vikas is based on the core principles of existence of God and divinity inherent in man. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Sayastita. Swami, residing in our hearts as Atma Rama, is Ananta Koti Kalyana Guna Sampannaha, the source of all auspiciousness and divine qualities. It's only when we connect to this inner infinite source of Sai, that we can truly live the values of sacrifice, love, and compassion. Sri Satsai Balvikas makes an earnest attempt to establish this connection to the inner Sai and to awaken the child to its ultimate reality. So when we are talking about the impact of interpersonal relationship between parent, guru and the child, even before that, this connection to Swami in the hearts has to be kept in mind, whether it's by the child or the parent, and more importantly, for the guru. If we are established ourselves with Swami's message firmly in our hearts, then it's much easy for us to go ahead. In one of the Balvikas Guru's trainings, when we were discussing about existence of God, divinity in man, some of the new gurus who had come for training, they were like, this sounds like hardcore Vedanta. Do we really teach all this to Balvika students? Then I had to remember and tell him the first group 1 Padya Sukti that Swami has given, that we teach to all the children. I'm sure you all know, Devudu anaga veru deshamuna ledu, Devudundu tanadu dehamande. Roughly translates to, God is not, Swami is not in some distant world, He is very much with us in our hearts. Now, with this connection established, we will go to the interpersonal relationship, the impact of the interpersonal relationship between the Guru, the God. I think God is covered. So one way to see it is, if Guru is connected to Swami, child is connected to Swami, and then the parent also happens to connect to Swami, then Sutre Manigana Eva, they are all connected to Swami. In a sense, they are also connected to themselves, all of them. With this thought, we move to, I'm sure every one of you have seen this picture? Yes? Yes. The reason, one of the main reasons for this panel discussion today, we are doing a fantastic job as a guru in engaging the child. Are we doing the same with the parents? Here is a striking fact that I want all of you to keep in the back of your mind, though we will be immersed in the discussion in few seconds. It's only 10% of the Balvika's children complete group 3. The remaining 90% of them complete only up to group 1 or group 2. So it's an imperative on us, on gurus, to find maybe a potential solution. I don't know. That's what, when we speak to the panelists, I think they're all very learned brothers and sisters here on the stage, so we'll talk to them. If we effectively do parenting, would this change? That's hopefully that's the solution that we are looking at. Because the parent is the motivating force, supporting the child and providing a conducive environment for the child at home. So engaging the parent is absolutely essential. Just like Swami used to say, Prosaha Ussahalu Nimputaru. The parent is the one who will give all the support for the child to go to the Balvika's class. Without their support, nowadays, I don't know, maybe things are a little changed now with the children wanting to decide by themselves. But most of it, it's still true that if there is a good support by the parent, the child will definitely come. And the guru, kind, so to say, maybe a spiritual compass to make sure that the child on the bicycle stays safe, straight, and on the right path. Right? So with this small introduction, now I will start the panel discussion. Maybe I will start. We have an all-rounder on the panel. I think Brother Aditya is a Balavika student, Balavika's guru. Now I understand a Balavika's parent also. So you would be the right person to go to the first question. Brother. Now all that we were discussing in the last couple of days, there is so much that we all want to share to the parents and make them come to Balavikas, right? But these days, the parents are thinking that academic excellence, extracurricular activities, they take precedence over everything else. So, especially to new parents, how do we take Balavikas to them? How do we persuade them, tell the importance of Balavikas and bring them into our centers? Sairam.
Sairam. Offering our collective presence to our dearest Guru and dearest Mother Sai. Sairam everyone. Just to start with what the question Brother Hari has put, Swami has envisioned Balavikas as a program for character transformation. It's not career transformation, it's a character transformation where children learn about discipline, compassion, responsible, and they become value-based individuals. Bhagwan said, education is for life, not merely for living. And Swami has never rejected academic excellence for students. He has never discounted on academic excellence. We see the institutions Swami has put up, they are always on the top level, producing top students in the country. So there is no discount on academic excellence. What he wanted is, he wanted the academics to be built upon character. So knowledge without character can become selfish. But knowledge with character becomes service to the society. Some parents in these days see Balavikas as something separate from the education. But the values cultivated in these classes are directly supporting the child's learning abilities. A child who comes to the class and learns discipline is developing better study habits. The concentration they are getting here helps them to improve their learning ability. The truthfulness they learn here helps them to build the responsibility. Self-confidence helps them to handle the examinations in a better way. The peace of mind they experience here helps them to manage the stress effectively. This is much needed these days for the younger kids to anyone. So Balavikas is not taking away children from the excellence, it is rather preparing them for the excellence, that too with humility and with character. Schools prepare children for examinations and Balavikas is preparing children for the life examinations. Schools help children to build careers and Balavikas is helping to build character. So just when you interact with parents, you may ask, what do you want your child to become? So you get varied answers like, I want my child to be an engineer, a doctor, a scientist, a professional who is valued much. Just put this question a little different. Ask them, what do you want your child to be? Then the answer comes unanimously as, I want my child to be with character. I want them to be humiliated. I want them to have humanity. I want them to be honest. I want them to be grounded. I want to be respectful. All these are the characteristics that they want the child to have. So, the first question focuses on the profession, whereas the second question focuses on their character. So, schools these days help them in the normal education, helps the child to become something, and the value-based education helps them to shape the character. And Sri Satya Sai Balvikas undoubtedly makes the child to be that special someone.
Sai Ram. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Aditya. Sister Saraswati. So, as we have put up, this is such a collaborative effort between the parent and the guru. Even when the new children are coming into Balvikas, we have to communicate with parents on how much collaboration are we expecting from the parent and convince them on this whole thing. So how do you do that? How do you engage parents? How do you talk to them, and how do you take it forward?
Sai Ram, pranams to Sabhabati and the Sabha. Before I go there, and I just wanted to clarify one thought. Some of us may be thinking here, isn't it Swami who brings the new children? What are we doing there? It is Bhagavan. But we need to make an effort. He works through us. Swami says, first we have to have faith in ourselves. We as Balvikas teachers and trainers must have the confidence that we can make a change. The change cannot be seen immediately, but it will be seen in the long run. So let's have firm faith in it. When Swami says, Yatna Prayatnam Manava Dharma, Jayapajayam Devadinam. So it is in his hands to bring when and whom. So let us try from our side. Again, whatever is given to us, it is not for us alone. It needs to be shared with everyone. All of us have experienced the benefit, the beauty of Balvikas. We have seen the changes. Why not the rest of the children who are not in that fold? Let's make an attempt. Yeah? Let's have the confidence. This Tirumula's message, philosopher said, Yan Petra Inbam, Peruga Iv Vayagam. Whatever you have, give, freely give, share it. That is our gratitude to Bhagavan. Coming to the saying Swami, today I was asking Swami, what do you want me to tell them? I opened a book. So beautifully I got a message. See, we all want to bring the children, but we have hesitance to approach. Swami says there are 3 obstacles. One is unwanted quality in the teachers, which is we have our own judgments, whether that child will come and bring a change in the current children, whether we can make a change or not, whether the parents will accept it. All these doubts come in our mind, so we hesitate. So our judgmental nature blocks, put an obstacle there. Next is unwanted qualities in a child. You perceive some qualities in a child which you think the child will not fit in the Balvikas. You are not to judge. That is specifically those are the children who need Balvikas. Trust in Bhagavan, the change will come. The third obstacle is from the parents. Parents may be hesitant. Parents may have their own preferences. So that again blocks. All these blocks need to be removed. And Swami beautifully went to say, any good act you want to do, there will always be obstacles. You have to face it. You need to have the determination. Have faith in Bhagavan. Be determined. Have a goal and try your best. The rest is in Swami's hands. So coming to the children, how to bring, there are 2 ways of bringing, The children themselves can bring new children to the Balvikas through their friendship, and the parents here, to bring Balvikas children, it is not the responsibility of the Balvikas gurus alone. It is the members of the organization. Every member has a responsibility. So whoever you come in contact, whether you have children, whether your friends have children, or whether your friends have grandchildren, spread the word, do your part, and then leave the rest. Follow up, encourage them, show examples from Balavikas, show examples from alumni. Aditya is sitting here. So there are some, you can see umpteen of examples in our organization. Show them, take them to the Balavikas class, make them sit in the class, see what is happening, then they will make a judgment for themselves. And also, do not stop there. Follow up with them and find out how they feel, what they feel, and give more information, and make sure you create a very loving and warm atmosphere. That is the most important thing. And the most important thing is be an example. By your behavior, let them get attracted. Sairam.
Thank you, Sairam. Sairam, sister. Sairam. Brother Bala, I think we have an institute here where you are part of. Academics, excellence in academics and character education are seamlessly integrated. And this sets as a role model for the entire world. So, from that experience, do you want to add more?
Yes, Swami, elders, brothers and sisters, Sairam. Important question, and our brother and sister here have summarized some of the key points. But the key question here is, as a parent, how do you tell a parent, this is what your child will get if the child is part of Balavikas? Let me try and answer that through two beautiful episodes, two very interesting experiences. Once Bhagwan walks into the Brindavan hostel, Whitefield in Bangalore, and decides to go straight to the kitchen. And in the kitchen that day, they are making a sweet dish which I've eaten only in the Brindavan hostel. It's called the sweet puri. Now, it's a puri, but also sweet. So how it's made is, step one, you take the dough, which is you use for a normal puri in India. Step two is you add a sweet filling, which is normally added to the modak, which is offered to Lord Ganesha, which is called the purnam. It's a preparation made out of coconut and jaggery. So step one is to take the dough. Step two, you actually put the sweet filling there. Step three is to fold it. Step four is to fry it and take it out. Bhagwan observes the entire process and said, I will make one myself. And then step one, he takes the dough. Step two, he is supposed to put the sweet filling in, the purnam in. Bhagwan does not do that. He skips that step. Directly proceeds to fold the dough. And immediately the cook alerts him saying, Swami, purnam petaledu, Swami, you've not put the purnam inside. Bhagwan says, keep quiet. And then he puts the dough inside without the purnam, fries it, takes it out, and after it cools down, hands it over to the cook and says, open it. And dear brothers and sisters, lo and behold, when the cook opens it, the purnam was there inside. Now, the most beautiful message which Bhagwan gives, he says, Bangaru, remember, whatever Swami touches will always be Purnam. Dear brothers and sisters, it's not beautiful that we are thinking about this episode in the Purna Chandra auditorium. Because the minds of our children, as a parent, the minds of our children is like the Chandra. Chandrama manaso jataha. I think when it touches Swami, comes into contact with Swami, that mind becomes Purna. So Bhagwan, when Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning was inaugurated, says that this university would roll out children who have a combination of ability and nobility. And Bhagwan says, if you are noble but not able, you may not be very useful to society. But if you're able but not noble, you'll be dangerous to society. What we need is a combination of ability and nobility. Bhagwan says the head of Shankara, the heart of Buddha, and the hands of Janaka. Head of Shankara in terms of intellectual prowess and capabilities, what is valued in the world today. The heart of Janaka, which is the heart of Buddha, which is kindness and compassion. And the hands of Janaka is again about execution capability, about ability to get things done. Again, the combination of ability and nobility. And that's what Bharavikas will create. That's what, so basically, it will make your child a very good and a capable human being. The second part, very quickly, is what does Balavikas give? Again, let me share that through an anecdote. There was one of our brother students who was very reluctant to speak in Bhagwan's presence to a big audience in Sai Kulanth Hall, but Swami convinced him to do so. And when he stood that day, and it happened in Sai Kulwant Hall, dear brothers and sisters, when we go back there for the evening session, I think you must remember this episode. This brother was speaking in Sai Kulwant Hall, a huge audience of thousands from many countries on the other side. Bhagwan's chair right behind him. He's standing here and he's facing the audience. And he said something very beautiful. He said, dear brothers and sisters and elders, I'm speaking for the first time, very nervous. But you know what gives me the confidence to speak to you? Because the whole world is on the other side, but my Swami is on my side. And that's what Bal Vikas does. It builds self-confidence. So in 2 words, brothers, Bal Vikas will build the combination of ability and nobility and also instill the child with self-confidence.
Thank you, brother. Thanks a lot. So, like Brother Bala has mentioned, Balavikas is also Purnam because it is Sri Satya Sai Balavikas. So, obviously, everyone who comes into the fold of Sri Satya Sai Balavikas will have all the character development also along with the academic excellence. Now, we'll move to the next part of the discussion. Yesterday also, I think A.B. Garu was mentioning that all the wings of the organization has to support Bal Vikas, and they do support. And also, Bal Vikas also brings a lot of new people into the organization. Just through the children, new children come. And along with them, the parents will come, particularly abroad where the centers, they have to come and wait for an hour or hour and a half. So, they will be to sit and engage. So, if the new parents are coming into the organization, Sister Dr. Satna, how do you think we should engage them? How do we bring them into our organization?
Sai Ram, my humble pranams at the lotus feet and warm greetings to you all here. Before exploring how to engage parents, I would like to delve on why we should engage parents. The very important question, why we should. So firstly, the parents, as Baba has very rightly explained, bicycle model. The 2 wheels need to pedal together for a unified vision, for a unified journey. If there is conflict, contradiction, if the Bal Vikas Guru plants a seed in the Bal Vikas class, but it is uprooted in the house or in the school, then the child does not benefit. The whole momentum is broken. If what is preached in the class, but it is not practiced at home, again, that whole purpose of the exercise is lost. So it's very, very important that parents evolve from spectator to supporter and to seeker. And now I should go on from these 3 S. The parent has to evolve from a spectator, a passive observer, to a supporter, and finally to a seeker. And that's how then he will also benefit from this movement. How to engage parents? For in this, I have evolved a mnemonic by Swami's grace in the Kulwant Hall, sitting in the bhajan session yesterday. Tips. TIPS. The first thing is transformation of the Guru. I will be the interest of the child. If the child is interested, engaged, the parent is automatically engaged. P, the parent. How to engage the parent? I have some techniques I'll share with you. And S is finally surrender to Swami. So if we employ these tips, inner transformation of the Guru, the first wheel, interest of the child, the rider, the seater, the second wheel, the parents, and lastly, Swami's grace. So, transformation, there is no substitute to transformation. How to go about it for Guru? If we have to become, we have to read Swami's literature, polish our mirror daily. Our mind is like a mirror, and if we polish it daily, it will reflect our inherent divinity, which is latent in us, and it will be very easy for us to connect to the children and the parents, and that will be a genuine connect, heart-to-heart connect. It will be not we are trying to make an impression. No, it will be a connect. So first and foremost, we all gurus should stick to our sadhana, what has been prescribed by Swami. Read his literature, the Vahini, hear to his discourses. And Swami is the biggest magnet. Even if we go little close to him, he will endow us with some magnetic powers, and that will surely draw in the parents and the children without efforts. Second point, interest of the child. Here 2 points I want to mention. In the very first class, we have always heard first impression is the last impression. I'll change it a little. First impression is the lasting impression. So in the very first Bal Vikas class, we can innovate ways, we can make it very interesting, very joyful, and record that video session and send it to parents. And the parents can themselves see how the child is lovingly and joyfully engaged. How the child is enjoying the bhajan singing, the activity, group activity, some souvenir he makes for the parents, and he writes on it how important you are. So professing their love in a greeting card makes the parents partners in this Bal Vikas movement. So this is one way. Second is interest of the child. As the course evolves, whatever 5 values we have taught will start manifesting in the child's behavior. He will be more calm at home, he will be resolving the conflicts peacefully, his grades might improve, and this becomes itself a very tangible testimony to see, and nothing like personal witnessing. So that's how we engage parents. From like first class and then over 1-2 years, the values will start manifesting. Third is P of the tips. Parents can involve informally, we can send them WhatsApp videos of their children. Once a week, we can tell them, share on the WhatsApp that this value is being taught in the class, so you can follow it up at home, reinforce it at home. If it is truth, the week for truth, then let's follow truthful practices at home, some examples like that. Then so this is how the parents can follow. Lastly, as over 2-3 years, even the parent will be genuinely interested seeing the change in the child. Then we can propose to the parent that you can come to our bhajan centers, you can be involved in the seva activities, and to get a very first-hand direct experience, you can come to Puttaparthi also, and that the transformation will happen. And finally is S, surrender to Swami. That is the most important. Surrender to Swami will help us in all the domains. How to connect to children, how to connect to parents, and how to connect to ourselves, most importantly. That is his divine message, connecting to ourselves. Om Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sai Ram sister. Thank you. On the same topic, you have anything to add, Saraswati sister?
Yeah. She said almost touched it, but anyhow, I'll add a bit more. As now, the one thing I noted is the interest that parents are expressing that they want to come to organization and they want to be part of the center shows that they have developed a confidence what Bal Vikas does to their children. So that's a very positive impact it has made. To strengthen that, they have now expressed to come to center, Sai Center. So when they come to Sai Center, as I mentioned earlier, we in the center, all of us, not only Bal Vikas Gurus, all the members in the organization should be aware how to treat the newcomers. We cannot use the same yardstick because they are quite new to Sai Center, new to the environment. We have to be encouraging, bring them lovingly, speak to them, make them understand, give them time to get adjusted. And once you know they are keen in participating in any other wings of the organization, then you can start finding out what are the skills they have, anything they have special interest in. So you can tag them along to that wing. For example, some may be highly literate, they may be well-read people. They may not be Sai literature, but they would be well-read in Bhagavad Gita and other epics. Use their knowledge, bring them along, encourage them into study circle, let them be co-coordinators. Shadow the coordinator and then see how the sessions are conducted, what they can contribute. Ask them to participate in the session. Similarly, music talents. If anybody has a music special talents, involve them with the bhajans and bhajan, singing. Bring their children. Most important, Margaret, as she was telling, the children are involved, parents will come. Where the children are given importance, see, basically man's need is for recognition. So first we have to fulfill that recognition part of it. Then you start working on the ego aspect of it. Don't directly say, no, that's ego. Please don't do that. Let them have some ego, then work on it. Then slowly they will understand by reading Swami's literature and Swami's study circles. They will work on it. And Swami will take care of it. It's not our business to work on that. Yeah. So that involve them in all the wings and service. Some will be action oriented. Swami so beautifully said. Even children, he said, rational, action oriented, emotional. There are 3 types of children. Similarly, adults also. 3 types. So identify their expertise and then involve them. Slowly they'll get along and they will become part. And we have seen many devotees convert that way. You all will agree. The children have brought their parents mostly, yeah. Sometimes the parents also able to influence their friends and bring their children along.
Yeah.
And most important, can I add? Okay.
Yeah. Just a few seconds.
Okay, sorry. Swami beautifully said, as society, a family to be happy, there should be a security, safe and secure society the family should have. The environment. If the environment is not safe and secure, the family gets disintegrated. So that environment, the parents will look for, especially in foreign countries. When they come to the country newly, they have hunger to put their children in a place where they can get their root strengthened. And Bala Vikas does an amazing work there. So tap that and then bring them along. Saira.
Thank you, sisters. Thanks to both the sisters. I think we have the most important question now. Until now, we are talking about engaging new parents, engaging new children. Now, if you remember the problem statement, how do we retain existing children? How do you make sure that they run through the full course of 9 years, right? The main role on holding these children is completely on the hands of these gurus, right? Nurturing the child is completely up to them. And I know, Sister Usha, you have been working with the children for the last 24 years. So what are the best practices that you are already getting benefited from that you can share with the gurus?
Sairam, my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Swami. This place is very nostalgic to me, first of all. At the age of 9 or 10, I was Vamana Mahabali here, and Swami was here. Today I am more blessed. My Balvika's family, Guru's family is sitting there, Professor Mukundan is there. I am all the more blessed to speak in front of you, sir. Sairam, my loving Sairam to all of you. So my part is most of how group 2 and group 3, how we will sustain the children. Question straight away goes to group 2 and 3, and let me be very specific here. Many of us ask, children are changing. What are the methodologies do we have to bring in? What all are the more important, what all are the innovative ideas do you have? My humble answer is, let's not bring any innovative methods here. Bhagwan has already given us a perfect foundation. There are no new values to be told, no new satyas to be revealed, or no new spiritual methods. Let us all stick on to the theme, back to basics, satya, dharma, shanti, prema, ahimsa. This will guide us as gurus. So what needs to be changed? It's not the message, it's the method. It's not the principles to be changed, it's the presentation style which has to be changed. As educators, we don't simply deliver a lesson plan. I know all the esteemed gurus are in front of me, I don't have to give a gyan here, but we teach a child and we touch the heart of the child. That is what a Bal Vikas Guru has to do. And every stage of a child's life calls for a different approach. That is what we have to work on. A seed remains the same, but the gardener needs to change the amount of water, care, and the sunlight according to the age, according to the stage of the growth. Likewise, Bhagwan's teachings remain timeless, it is eternal, there is no doubt in it. But naturally, we have to change the style of putting the same old thing in a different way to them. This is, as we all have the challenge, group 2 and group 3. It is not instant love as we give to group 1. You all of us will agree to me that in group 1, when we stand in pre-SSC to group 1, when we stand, we say, Sai Ram children. They all are very happy. Can we do the same technique? Sai Ram children. They say, what happened to this auntie? Because we are group 2 and group 3. We have to be calm and composed with them. The voice, from voice modulation, we have changed. I myself personally experience. Whenever I meet my son, I can say, Sai Ram. Amma, I've grown up. Come on, Sai Ram. Okay, Sai Ram. From this I learned. My child was my guru at that time. I changed consciously there. Then their mind begins to question. But the heart still longs to be loved. That is the trick there. Today's children, we know, they all are so stuck with reels, AI, gaming, social media. Actually, we all are so lucky. We are not that great, I know. We are lucky we were not having all those things. But how? Yet, what they want, they have a search for meaning, belonging, and direction. So, gurus, let us not teach values. Let us touch the hearts. Connect first, guide next. And what all of these challenges they face? Short attention span. You can see 30 seconds videos and how nicely they see, which we don't know. They get all information, but little discrimination. Less quality time at home because both the parents are working. There is no one to tell a story. There is no one to listen to a story. It's so pathetic. And confusion of values, what they see from the social media and what we teach. We teach contrast. So here comes the role of a Bal Vikas Guru. So let us not be another lecturer there. Let us anchor it, be a friend, be a guide, and above all, be a living example of Swami. So the first tip here is be relatable before being inspirational. How? Take 2 minutes of your class to ask, what made you smile this week? Who was annoying you this week? Any challenge at school? What is trending? What is the best movie you have heard? Oh, then this auntie is not for lecturing. This auntie is giving us something nice. I can talk to this auntie. So, gently listening to them, gently bring Swami's messages to them. That is the best method for group 2 and group 3, I feel. So, you can even discuss all things with them. At the same time, be rooted in Swami's message. Second thing, as I said, don't change the message, change the method. How? Our scriptures, our stories, everything is timeless. But our presentation has to be really lively. It's a challenge. It's a real challenge. Instead of speaking, let us take the example of Krishna and Sudama. All of us know Krishna and Sudama. Children also say, but how many of them believe Krishna and Sudama is another question to us. So, instead of that, do you have a friend like Sudama? Imagine if you are Krishna, how you will feel? Third question, have you ever stood by your friend when everyone else walked away? That story becomes our personal example. That relates to them. Now, bring that story into role play, discussion, games, and activities. It's very interesting, the young generation becoming Krishna. Hey dude, how are you? They do all those things, but let us agree to them. That is the language they speak. Then, let us use the technology, make the technology our servants. Let us not tell them we are not going to talk about technology, all those things. Let us be present in the present world. Use short animation videos, Swami's bhajans to be played, and discuss very have proper discussions with meaningful and purposeful way. And the last one, the foundation for this group is sealing on desires. Bring sealing on desires. Talk to them. Distinguish between needs and wants. Very important. Second thing, character. Not getting any other value other than Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema and Ahimsa. And the last one is service. Become a lesson, and Swami says, and Bhagavad Gita tells us, whatever a noble person does, others will naturally follow. You don't have to teach, be a noble person, be a living example. Sai Ram, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks for the help. I noticed you were trying to help with the time also, Sai Ram. So, like our sister was mentioning, I think even yesterday's discussion, I think speakers had brought it up. Now it's the time of Gemini models and Claude and whatnot. What is it they exactly have to come for a Balvikas class? I can learn anything that I want to learn wherever I want to learn. So that's the challenge to hold to group 2, group 3 children, right? So how do we address that?
Yes, brother. As you rightly mentioned, the information is available everywhere, but especially at the age of group 2 and group 3, they don't need teachers as much as they need a trusted friend who can be a mentor.
Perfect.
So the gurus should be acting as a mentor. First, they should be a friend who has to listen to them. Listen first, pay some attention, spend some time with children, understand what they want. They need someone to express their feelings, right? So guru should be the one who should be taking that path. Slowly, once they listen, then slowly move on to the role of being a mentor. So if you see, Swami has never discouraged asking questions. So many of us ask questions to Swami. Swami has never discouraged us asking from questions. And Swami has guided us, each one of us separately in the way it is needed for us. What more best example a guru can be other than Swami, right? Let's take Swami as our example of how a guru should be. Understand, listen, and then try to guide. Okay? And then, this particular age, right, they are naturally very curious. They question everything. And in this moment, they are dealing with emotions. They are dealing with academics, they are dealing with peer pressure, and especially as sister mentioned, they are dealing with social media. This age is social media age, right? The attention span is coming down. So our role as gurus should evolve from simply teaching to become active listeners, guiding them. And sometimes listening patiently itself is more powerful than giving an answer to the child's question. And another aspect that we should be prepared is preparedness. To be prepared is preparedness, right? We cannot teach today's children with yesterday's methods. As sister mentioned, the method should change, but not the message. The message remains same, the method should change. Our sessions need to be more interactive, relevant, and connected to the situations they face every day. If we can help them to relate the Swami's teachings to the real life challenges, the values become more meaningful than just being taught in the classroom. Last but not least, the partnership with parents, right? The parents' partnership is absolutely essential. The regular conversation with parents help us to understand what a child is experiencing outside the Bal Vikas sessions. When gurus and parents communicate openly and use the feedback constructively, we can support with one common goal of child's development. Sarna.
Thank you, brother.
Aditya, I would like to add here. What will happen if a guru goes without preparedness? Because we have the lesson plan ready, it's a matter of delivering it. Nothing but, Swami reminds us, if you deliver without preparedness, mental preparedness, child will be only receiving information. But if a Balvika's guru starts the class with prayer, that Swami is sitting in this chair, he is watching me, my children are his Prema Putras, whatever information you have given, it is a transformation to guru as well as the for the child. And Swami says, you are not teaching children, you are seeing the little Sai in those hearts. So my Sai is seeing the little Sai. And Swami has even told one more thing about what a guru is, which I can conclude with that. Guru is the one. G stands for give love. U stands for understand your child. R, reach their heart. And U, uplift their character. If your child comes out of the class, I have a loving auntie, I have an auntie who doesn't judge me, I have an auntie who smiles at me. I am loved by Swami, and I will be the best student of my Swami, and my children are teaching me through that lesson. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you, thank you. From what I understood from both of you, I think you have to make group 2, group 3 classes very interactive. Obviously, their inquisitiveness, their readiness to receive what we are teaching is much more advanced than what it is earlier. So you need a lot of preparation. And all our texts, whether it is Nachiketa and Yamadharmaraja, Krishna Arjuna Samvada, it's Pariparashtena Sevaya, you have to let them ask as many questions as you encourage them to ask questions, right? So with this background, can you tell us any instances where you have experienced this in the institute?
No, in fact, there's one thing which we can learn from Bhagwan. See, what children require, especially if you look at group 3, what they require today is a safe space where they will not be judged, where they'll be loved for what they really are, not what they currently appear to be. Let me share a beautiful example, in fact, anecdote. I think this happened in Vrindavan, if I remember right. Bhagwan would, after the darshan, he would open the doors in Sai Ramesh Hall. There was instructions, the doors would be opened, and then children would just rush from from wherever they are sitting. The students would rush from there on to the dais in Sai Ramesh Hall and run towards Trey Vrindavan, because Bhagwan would speak. And then you want to get as close as possible to Swami. So they would all run. So there was one gentleman there who was witnessing the entire thing and thought this is indiscipline. To his eyes, it appeared to be indiscipline because here are all these boys are all running. Yeah. So he went inside and said, Bhagwan, Swami, all these boys are running. There's a lot of indiscipline. So Swami said, no way, Chappu. He said, you speak to them. And Swami actually gave the opportunity to this gentleman to speak and advise all the boys. And after that, as this gentleman was taking Pad Namaskar, Bhagwan bowed down close to him and said, Bangaru, after all, what are these boys running for? They're running because they want to be close to Swami. And then, with a twinkle in his eye and the naughtiest of smiles, Bhagwan looks and says, when you were their age, what were you running for? I think the point is that in Bhagwan's presence, you don't feel judged. He's somebody who knew everything. But for a moment, you didn't feel threatened. And I think that's what the Bal-Vikas, in fact, sister said how that Bal-Vikas Guru has to be a reflection of Bhagwan himself. Bhagwan himself would say, in fact, it's a pop quiz for all of you, this is Bhagwan's own words. Bhagwan said he's a teacher, but what kind of teacher? Do you think Bhagwan is like a maths teacher? Do you think Bhagwan is like an English teacher? Do you think Bhagwan is like a science teacher? Bhagwan asked this question and said, I am not like any of this. And Bhagwan said, I am a PT teacher, a physical instruction teacher, because the only teacher who teaches by demonstration is the PT teacher. His life is his message. And that's exactly what the Bal-Vikas Guru has to be, a reflection of Bhagwan himself. Last point for reflection, dear brothers and sisters, for us as gurus, is just think about it. If you were to ask the Bal-Vikas child to describe you, how would the Bal-Vikas child describe you? Would you be described as strict? Would you be described as grumpy? Would you be described as scary? Or would you be described, or would we be described as loving, as calm, as pure, as inspirational? I think Bhagwan was the latter, is always the latter. So I think if that happens, then, like Bhagwan says, the magnet, that love, that selfless love automatically attracts the children, irrespective of which group. That's what I think, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think we are almost done with the time, so we'll just wrap up. Brother, can you show the... So, there is nothing new in this. All that we are saying, all the members of the panel, we discussed a little bit yesterday also, that wherever we are, Balvika's gurus, in some areas, we think that there will be parenting session, someone from state office or someone will come, do a parenting session and they go away. I think that method won't work that well. As a guru, you know the child. You also know the parent to an extent because they're coming to drop the child, pick her. So just have a small conversation, regular, continuous conversations with the parents. Since the guru knows both the child and parent, it's imperative that she engages them and she does the parenting sessions. It's an essential part of the Balvikas, and for the Balvikas to be successful, Swami himself said, parent and guru should work together with the child. So if you are not doing this, let's start right away as soon as we go back home. And obviously, other one is, there was a lot of mention yesterday also that it's the guru sadhana that helps when you are teaching anything to the child. It's where we stand. How close are we with respect to with Swami? If we are close enough to Swami, I think whatever we teach, we'll be able to teach Swami's message very effectively. So that sadhana, I'm sure all the gurus are doing it. And the last one, like brother has already mentioned, remember, it's Swami's Sankalpa. Sri Satsai Balvikas is not something that has come out from nowhere. In Telugu, Swami has quoted it very nicely. It's easy to quote, so I'm just quoting it. Nirmala Hrudayulaina Bala Balikalanu Nimittamuga Pettukoni Dharmodharana Cheyadame Na Sankalpam. So this, what Swami is saying is, it's his call. Already he made a call. It is his Sankalpa, and Sri Satsai Balvikas is the Swarupa of that Sankalpas of Swami. So it will happen. It will definitely bring the benefits to millions of children, and his Dharmodharana will continue to happen. And we are very grateful to Swami for choosing us as instruments in your divine mission. Thank you. Pranams. Jai Sai Ram.